Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an absolutely electric Crisler Arena as your Michigan Wolverines, who sit atop the Big Ten, take on the little brother Michigan State Spartans in what feels like the game of the year for this Wolverines team. I'm Kendall Spencer. Joining me for the first half is Jaden Fode, and oh boy, do we got a game to bring to you tonight. Wolverines coming off of a win on Sunday against Ohio State Buckeyes. Jaden, want to tell me a little bit about that one?
Yeah, I mean, exactly like you said, coming off a win against Ohio State was a close game, though, and not only that one, but Michigan's last 6 games, granted they won them all, but they've all been decided by 4 or less points. So a thing to watch with this Michigan team is their games have been really close, but they've been able to come away with wins in those games. So down the stretch, you know, something to definitely watch out for in this tough matchup, because I'm expecting a close game here.
Spartans only half a game back of the Wolverines. They're coming off a win as well. However, Tom Izzo, as I mentioned, that as that game was on Tuesday, they're playing on less rest than the Wolverines are. However, that was a win over Purdue, who just a month ago kind of, put the beat down on the Wolverines, but they got revenge at home. One of our most listened to men's basketball broadcasts of all time. Something feels special about this team, and you can't deny that it's being led by their head coach, Dusty May, who it came out just a few hours ago is signing a multi-year contract extension to remain the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. Some people thought he was going to leave, maybe go back to his alma mater, Indiana. Dusty wants to stay right here in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, I mean, definitely something to be happy about for Michigan fans. Dusty May has really turned this program around in only his first season with the Wolverines. Something that I think, no one really knew what to expect with a new coach, 11 new players being added to this roster. It was really kind of a waiting game to see what would happen with this team, but he's really done a fantastic job. Michigan 12-0 at home, the only undefeated team left at home in the Big Ten. So definitely something to be proud of. And, Michigan trying to keep that undefeated at-home record going tonight, and this one is not going to be an easy test, and Dusty May's first test in the rivalry game, so definitely something to watch out for.
Absolutely, and head coach Tom Izzo prides himself on beating the Wolverines, especially in first instances of the head coach playing in the matchup. It's going to be tough for both sides. It's loud here, one of the loudest I've ever seen Crisler defending that, undefeated at home streak.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen this place so packed.
We'll get into starting lineups in just a second, but before we do, Jaden, who's a player to watch on the Wolverines for you tonight?
I mean, I would definitely have to say Vlad Golden. He's the team's leading scorer. He scores the most for them in points per game. He's been a consistent piece for their offense all season long. They definitely run their offense through him being so tall. He has that advantage inside the paint, but I think something you have to look at with these matchups is getting into foul trouble. If Michigan has their players that get into foul trouble, they don't really have as much depth with their big man that Michigan State does. And, Michigan State is a team that has really been successful at drawing a lot of fouls. They're a really good free throw shooting team. So that's definitely going to be a matchup to watch there, is how many fouls can Michigan State draw, and, can Michigan keep Danny Wolf, Vlad Golden out of foul trouble?
Absolutely. For the Michigan State Spartans, starting lineups: Jeremy Fears Jr., Jaden Akins, Jace Richardson, Jackson Kohler, and Shimon Zapawa. For your Michigan Wolverines, Trey Donaldson, Namari Burnett, Reuben Jones, Danny Wolf, and Vlad Golden. Biggest game of the year so far for the Wolverines, and this place certainly sounds like it as they get set for the tip. It's going to be Golden and Zapawa. Let's get this one started. Golden comes away, wins the tip. Donaldson goes back to collect it, and he'll kick things off. That's to Jones, back up to Donaldson, round for Burnett, into Golden. Wolf comes in streaking. Golden pass for Wolf, no good, bounces off his hands. Try to collect it. That'll be a turnover. And that's where the Spartans can kill you as they get things set up on the other side. Quick pass from Fears to Akins. Back up to the top. Kohler holds on to it, pass it back to Fears. Zapawa. This little pick there for Richardson. He'll put up a 3, and it's good. Spartans don't shoot the 3 ball very much, but they make their first one tonight. The Wolverines get a little frantic. Trey Donaldson passes it to nobody, but it won't be an issue. Rolls out of bounds off a Spartan, and they avoid another turnover.
I mean, yeah, you saw the Spartans get their hand on that one there. I think that's going to be a key for Michigan, too, is limiting those turnovers, because the Spartans are great on fast break points. They've scored a ton this season off them.
Wolverines inbound the ball, bring it around a bit, ends up with Trey Golden being worked on by Akins. He'll drive to the net himself, put it up for 2, no good. Rebound by Burnett. Burnett tries to drive, put it back up, but that's not going to fall. Jones instead for the 3, bounces off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Golden. Back up to Wolf on the right side of the 3-point line. Wolf in for Golden. Golden and Zapawa. Golden drive to the basket, puts it up for 2.
It's going to be one of the key matchups there for Michigan, is getting points in the paint, finding Golden under the rim, being able to get those easy buckets.
Zapawa all alone at the top of the arc, hands it off for Fierce Jr. Fierce Jr. back to Richardson. Richardson going to drive up the left-hand side, put up a jumper of his own. That one falls.
I mean, Richardson, only a freshman, but such an aggressive player for Michigan State. I mean, I think that's going to be a player that Michigan's going to have to watch on defense throughout this game.
Bud Golden trying to drive on the net. He's got 2 guys working against him. His shot doesn't fall. Wolf gets the rebound taken away from him by Richardson. He goes quickly the other way. Spartans moving from right to left. Wolverines moving from left to right on this one. Fierce Jr. all alone at the top. Handed off for the considered 3 ball from Kohler. He'll think better of it. Little mid-range floater by Akins, no good, doesn't fall. There's a foul on the ground. That one's gonna go against the Wolverines.
I mean, you could hear the boos after that play, but showing the replay here, Michigan fans are not happy with that call at all.
Spartans get another chance. Long inbound, potential over and back there, but they'll wave it off as Kohler had to go on the other side of the court to get that one. Fierce Jr. pass it to his right to Kohler. Over to Richardson, back up top for Fierce Jr. Has Burnett guarding him. Picked by Zapawa, and Fierce Jr. puts up a last-second shot literally through the hands of his defender for 2. Wolverines the other way. Wolf has it driving up the right-hand side, and they're going to call a travel. He picked up his dribble just a bit too early on that one.
Yeah, I mean, turnovers I think are going to be huge in this game. Michigan's a team that likes to play fast, but so is Michigan State. And when 2 teams like this are playing fast, it really is going to come down to the turnovers and who's going to be able to limit those and get those points up, you know, without being able to turn the ball over. We've seen that be an issue for Michigan in past games that's had them come away with a loss.
Fierce Jr. trying to get around Jones. Kick set doesn't work, but he'll move off to the right side. Back up to Zapawa, the top. Go over to Akins. Akins driving up the left-hand side, trying to work around Donaldson. Up Fierce Jr. all alone at the top of the arc. His pass attempt no good, picked up by Donaldson. He just didn't have enough on that. Jones trying to drive, falling over, and Burnett's shot won't fall. Bit of a hectic sequence, but Jones tried to drive the net himself and half falling over.
Yeah, I mean,
handed off to Burnett.
I mean, you could see on that play, Michigan getting the turnover, trying to push the pace, but Michigan State is a team that has been fantastic in transition defense. You saw it right there, being able to stop Burnett. And, I mean, you know, that's going to be key. Michigan's a team that likes to play fast, but when Michigan State's good on the transition, they're going to have to maybe slow things down and really take, I mean, better shots if you're not going to be able to get as many of those opportunities.
Cooper has it now at the top of the arc. Hands it off for Holloman. Mid-range floater for Carr, no good. Rebounded by the Spartans and put back up. That was Carson Cooper on the shot there.
I mean, another thing that the Spartans have been so good at is getting those offensive rebounds and crashing the glass, and you just saw it there on that play.
Burnett drives and puts up the dunk for 2. What a response from Namari Burnett.
Yeah, and way to get the crowd back into this one, too. There's so many people here in Crisler. Got to keep them pumped up.
Holloman has it in the far corner. Pass in for Cooper. Cooper hands it off for Carr. Back out to the Michigan logo for Holloman. Holloman mid-range floater from the free throw line, no good. Falls into the hands of Jones. He'll toss it off to Donaldson. They'll get things started the other way. Golden thinks about saying the pick, drives for the what should have been an easy feed from Danny Wolf. Golden can't get his hands on, gets too cute, and the Spartans convert in the other direction. What the Wolverines tried to do, the Spartans just did, and Carr puts the beat down for 2.
I mean, almost just the exact same play we saw run by both teams. Golden not able to put it in, but Carr, such an athletic player.
Burnett for 3, no good. Snatched by Kohler. And passed off to Holloman to start Spartan possession. Pass in for Cooper, back out to Kohler for 3, no good. Bounce off the back of the rim, but Carr comes in to grab the rebound away. Bring it around the arc. Richardson has it on the right side. He'll put it up for 3, no good. Bounce off the back of the rim again, and another big rebound from Cohen Carr. In for Kohler on the left-hand side, trying to work past his defender. He almost loses it, but his defender falls over instead. Back over to Richardson, he'll drive in from himself. Another floater, and there'll be a foul. That's going to be one of the biggest concerns for the Wolverines tonight, as they just are not as deep as the Michigan State Spartans, as we've already seen. Wolverines pretty much still playing their starters. The Spartans have worked multiple other guys in already.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And one player for the Spartans we just saw in 2 plays back-to-back on offense, and then getting those offensive rebounds, Cohen Carr. I mean, he is just such an athletic player. You can literally see him jumping through the air to get those offensive rebounds. And that's especially key for Michigan State on that possession. You saw them take a couple threes, which they're not a great three-point shooting team at all. I mean, they're the worst three-point shooting team in the Big Ten. So if Michigan can force Michigan State to take some of those three-pointers, I mean, that's where they're going to find success. Michigan's great at defending the 3, and Michigan State's been missing their shots from 3 so far. But so if Michigan can pressure them to take those options there, they're going to find success. But I mean, letting Cohen Carr get those offensive rebounds like that is going to kill them. They have to be able to get defensive rebounds and, you know, take over on offense.
No, absolutely. The Wolverines are going to be more than content to let the Spartans keep chucking up that 3 ball. Yeah, their first one fell, and then after that it was, you know, it wasn't that pretty. Right. But that's not exactly what the Wolverines need to be worrying about right now. I mean, the Spartans, you know, they play their game the way they want to play it, and right now, I mean, things are going exactly how they want to.
I mean, yeah, you're exactly right. Michigan is letting Michigan State kind of dictate the pace of this game. I mean, especially in your home court, you got to take control of this game.
Absolutely. Things also just a little, like we mentioned, the Wolverines like to play fast. However, the Spartans, they like to play it just as fast, just as well. In fact, the Spartans, their biggest key to success is how they play off turnovers, and the Wolverines turn over the ball, you know, it's improved, but it's still one of their biggest issues, and we're going to see a lot of situations like that Danny Wolf to Vlad Golden play where they tried to get a little too cute. Wolf had Golden streaking, cutting to the net.
Such a great play.
It was a great play design. Unfortunately, Golden just couldn't keep his hands on it. And then they go the other way and they convert, and Cohen Carr with a slam dunk. I mean, that's just
like the exact same play.
This almost, you know, beat for beat, the exact same play. And it's just, you know, confusing as to how Wolverines are going to be able to match that at this point. Obviously, it's early. Things will settle down, but
only 6 minutes into this game, so plenty of time to get settled in. But I mean, you know, this is a rivalry game, Crisler, biggest game of the season. You know, Dusty May in his first season with the Wolverines. It's obviously going to be a test. We knew that coming into this one.
No, absolutely. So far, the Spartans haven't done anything the Wolverines haven't expected them to do. And it's just a matter of adjusting, making the corrections right now, you know, in the timeouts.
Yeah, I think timeouts today are going to be crucial for the Wolverines, especially staying out of foul trouble. And Michigan's not as deep as Michigan State is, but kind of getting some of those subs in, especially Roddy Gale Jr. being able to come off the bench. He was someone who was starting for the Wolverines earlier this season. Reuben Jones has now come in the lineup and has started the past few games for him. But, having that presence come off the bench in Gale Jr. is really going to be something that Michigan's going to have to rely on today. He's one of the best players on this team at creating shot options, and I think that's going to be key, especially when you have like Vlad Golden, Danny Wolf, getting Gale Jr. to be that third player in that lineup that can create shots and get points on the board. I think it's going to be crucial for Michigan.
Jace Richardson will shoot. First one up and good.
This is exactly the situation that Michigan State wants to be in, drawing these fouls. They're one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country, so this is exactly where they're comfortable.
Second free throw. Clean as well. 13-6 in favor of the Spartans. Just under 6 minutes in this first half. Thank you so much for joining us. Roddy Gale Jr. will get things started heading the other way. Pass it over to Wolf, who tried to find a streaking Gale Jr. Once again, bounces off the hands, but this time there's a foul called. This one on Carson Cooper.
It's the second time Michigan's tried to run that lob play, but again, this time I guess they draw the foul on that one, get a couple of shots.
Gale will shoot two. His first no good. Second no good either. Bounce off the back of the rim. Nobody wants to get their hands on it before it's finally pulled out of midair by Akins, and this transition is where the Spartans love to strike. They'll slow things down instead. Holloman at the logo. Pass off to Akins, looking in for Carr. Swatted out of bounds by Roddy Gale Jr.
You see Akins pushing the pace on that one, driving the ball up the court. He's one of their co-captains this season, one of the most experienced players on this team, and I think he's going to be a key factor. He's leading the team in points per game, but getting him going is going to be huge for them tonight.
Akins inbounding, has Holloman at the top of the arc. Screen set by Cooper. Not much going with it, they'll just ring it around. Little floater from Holloman, no good. Rebounded by the Wolverines, they'll head the other way quickly in transition. Danny Wolf puts it up for two.
That is exactly the type of play that Michigan wants to run, being able to force Michigan State to take outside shots and then pushing the pace and just getting a quick basket from Danny Wolf.
He had bodies in his way, but it did not matter as Akins puts up a floater from the free throw line. No good. Once again, nobody wants to grab it. It lands in Donaldson's hands. He's moving quickly the other way over to Gale Jr. His layup no good. Fans want to call. They won't get one. Holloman the other way. Akins for three. And he makes it. 16-8. Spartans up here in Crisler Arena. Danny Wolf on the left side of the three-point line loses his dribble. Has to hand it off to Will Cheddar. Gives it back to Wolf. He has two guys on him. To Burnett, back into Wolf. Trying to find Cheddar on the other side. Instead, he'll put it up. And he makes it. Little mid-range floater.
Danny Wolf just so great at being able to create those opportunities for himself.
Holloman tries to find a man on the inside. Instead, it bounces off a Wolverine leg. They'll get some fresh bodies on the court. Another chance to set things up. Michigan State possession. Once again. 16-10, now our score. 12-16 to go in the first half. Inbounded to Kohler. He hands it off to Fiddler. Fiddler back to Fierce Jr. All outside the arc. He steps in for a long two. No good. Bounces off the rim. Rebounded by Cheddar. Hand to Burnett on the left side, moving up the other way. Find Wolf at the logo. Back up to Cheddar, and Cheddar just loses it. It falls through his hands between his legs before it's grabbed by Burnett. There's a couple bodies there. Jones thought about the three, gets rid of it instead. Into Cheddar, makes his guy miss, puts it up. No good, bounces off the back of the rim. Grabbed by Manning Green. Fears the other way. Long three for Kohler. Won't fall. Wolverine ball. Back to Wolf on the far side. He'll put up a three. And it bounces in and out and back in.
I mean, exactly what Michigan needed right now, getting the crowd back into this game, everyone on their feet.
Spartans going the other way with speed. Fiddler tried to do a nice spin move. Nothing happened. Hand off to Kohler. Kohler loses it. Burnett has it going the other way. He loses it. Cheddar's on the floor. Back over to Danny Wolf. Behind the back to Burnett. And it's in. Roddy Gale, my mistake. What a sequence for the Wolverines. And that, just like that, to Roddy Gale's resounding shot. Wolverines are back within one. 11:02 to go, and there's a timeout called.
I mean, it's almost like you have to take a timeout there in that position if you're Michigan State. Michigan getting the crowd back into this game. A sellout game here for the Wolverines at Crisler. Like we said before, undefeated at home this season. Just being able to have that crowd on their side is going to be huge for Michigan. You know, some seasons in the past haven't been as successful in basketball, but this year, Dusty May really bringing it back to the school. Fans are into it. Michigan getting back into this game, only down by one, and, you know, especially we were talking about it a little bit earlier, but Michigan State was really, you know, taking control of the pace of this game, really dominating and just kind of playing it how they wanted. But, you know, if Michigan can take that back and play the way that they want, it's going to work out for them so much better.
Absolutely. Just given how fast both these teams play, which we've mentioned, it feels like, especially we've seen it in the first 9 or so minutes, I think this will be the case all throughout the game. It's just how quickly momentum can change. Because when you rely on those fast break opportunities, you know, on getting quick points, I mean, it's easy for those to pile up and to all of a sudden things get out of hand really quickly. And this one, you know, at first it was the Spartans, now it's the Wolverines kind of resounding, but it also just makes it seem like the ball's a little slippery down there. I mean, we saw it go through multiple people's hands, between Will Cheddar's legs.
Yeah.
But also, like you were mentioning, it's felt, I'm a senior, so at least in my years on campus, it has often felt like of the, you know, 3 big sports that basketball has always been the third. After football and after hockey,
exactly right.
Basketball has just been, you know, it's had a lot to compete with.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of success in the other 2 sports. And, you know, since Dusty May has come to this program, he is bringing, like, the legacy back.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
It means more to be a Michigan basketball player than it may have in a while. I mean, it means more to go to the Michigan games. It means more just to play Michigan basketball right now. I mean, the crowd that we've mentioned multiple times, but maybe you think, you know, we're talking too much about it, but really this is like an electricity
here. Yeah.
we have not seen in a while. And, I mean, for Dusty May to have built this up pretty much, Not even in one full season. I mean, it is incredible. It's a testament to how he must be to play for. The guys clearly love their coach, and I think the campus loves him too, obviously.
Yeah, you're exactly
Or maybe
right.
everyone's just here for the nice hats,
the maze out,
cowboy hats. We saw Owen Crane down there earlier with one.
Yes, we did. Fellow WCBN member.
Once again, if you're just joining us, this is a home game at Crisler Arena. Thank you so much for tuning in to WCBN. I'm Kendall. Jaden's next to me. Alex and Perry will take over in the second half. But you've got us for another 11. We'll be back as well tomorrow.
Yes,
for the
Kendall and I will be back.
Penn State women's basketball game. An exciting all-women broadcast.
I know.
We've been wanting to do this for a while. Finally came together. It's going to be great. Hope you can tune in. That game's at noon.
Yeah.
They will also, as Alex Miller likes to say in all of our radio meetings, they will be playing meaningful basketball in March.
You are very right. I mean, something this Michigan team is also going to do. They've already clinched themselves a spot in the Big Ten tournament. So, I mean, definitely a lot to look forward for Michigan basketball. They're on a 7-0 run right now. I mean, about to shoot a couple free throws here. But, I mean, I think we're really going to see a game of runs tonight.
Roddy Gill Jr. converts the three-point play, and we're back in action. Fears Jr. taking it the other way. to Fiddler, back to Fears Jr. around the left side for Akins. Trying to find a gap in the defense. Fiddler back to Fears Jr. Thinks about driving, thinks better of it. Zapawa puts it up, and that's blocked off the backboard by Wolf, but the Spartans get the rebound. Luckily, the second shot does not fall. It's going the other way for Michigan. Past Danny Wolf on the near side, in for Golden. Golden tries to drive the net, loses the ball, but picks up the foul. That one's on Zapawa. We mentioned Vlad Golden trying to stay out of foul trouble. That's going to be another issue as well for the Spartans. They can afford to foul a little bit, but Zapawa just checked back into this one and picks up a quick foul, his first. Wolverines inbound the ball to Wolf. Wide open Pippen under the net, doesn't do anything with it, passes it back out to Jones. Around to Gale, in for Golden. He's thinking about it, gives Zapawa time to come over and double team him. They'll pass back out. Jones, floater from the free throw line for two. Wolverines have taken the lead, 18-16. And you can hear it's gotten a little louder in here. Fiddler to Akins on the far side, still outside the arc. Zapawa comes up to set the pick for Fears Jr. Wide open Akins for three, no good. Bounce off the front of the rim. Golden can't come down with it, but luckily Jones is there, and he gets fouled.
I mean, it just looks like a stupid foul there from Akins. Not really a situation in which they needed to foul. They had numbers on the other side with Michigan heading on offense. And, I mean, especially again on that previous play, Akins taking the three, you know, like we said previously, if Michigan can force them to shoot threes, that's where they're going to succeed. Akins is shooting the lowest three-point percentage of his career this season. So, I mean, especially forcing him to take threes, not somewhere he's totally comfortable this year.
Gale Jr. has it inside the arc, passes out to the logo for Wolf. Tries to drive past Booker, thinks better of it. Pass it to Jones. Jones has Akins defending him. In for a wide open Pippen for two. He was all alone under the basket.
I mean, Justin Pippen, not someone who plays a ton of minutes, only plays like 3 to 6 a game, but being able to come in and give that spark to Michigan is key for them.
Fears does a little circle, hands it off to Booker. Picks up his dribble immediately, has to give it over to Akins. Zapawa sets the pick for Akins, but Jones is there playing him tight, has to pass all the way back out to Fears at the logo. He's got 2 seconds to shoot. Akins puts up a long one. No good and not close. Shot clock goes off before that one hits the rim, and oh boy, it's loud in here.
I mean, yeah, Michigan on a 12-0 run. They're 4 for their last 4. Michigan has not scored it. Michigan State has not scored in the last 4 minutes. I mean, just Michigan being able to take over these runs, being able to push the pace themselves, being able to play the fast offense that they want to play and force Michigan State to take those threes is going to work out for them.
Pippen, Jones at the logo. Pass to a streaking Golden, back out to Gale. Pippen for three, no good. Bounces off the side of the backboard, and there's going to be a foul going the other way. That's on Will Cheddar.
Yeah, I mean, Will Cheddar just with an off-the-ball foul there under the basket. I mean, Pippen shot a little bit off the mark there, but just being able to see someone like Justin Pippen take shots from three, you have to be happy if you're Danny Wolf. I mean, Dusty May, my bad. I mean, you have
I'm
to
sure
be
you're happy if you're Danny Wolf,
right,
too.
Yeah, but I mean, like, just wanting all of your players to take shots, regardless of if they're missing them. I mean, everyone stepping up, you know everyone on this team can shoot.
Spartans turn the ball over. Pippen has it, pass to a streaking Cheddar. He can't control it, has to pass back to Burnett. Cheddar thinks about the three, thinks better of it. Hands out to Pippen, picks up his dribble, trying to connect with Gale, but the ball just slips past him and it'll go the other way. Bit of a hectic play there.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it there on that possession, just trying to play fast, get passes off quick. You know, Will Cheddar running down the lane, Pippen trying to find him on a quick pass there. I mean, that's where things can get a little bit tricky, and where you can see those turnovers is when they try to push the pace like that.
Spartans trying to slow things down here a little bit. Cooper tries to set a pick for Richardson. Holloman picks up his dribble, gets double teamed. Has to bounce it off Carr and back. Cooper sets another pick. Awkward little floater for Holloman, no good. Donaldson the other way. Burnett for three, and it's good! The Wolverines feel good right now. Spartans the other way. Holloman driving. Loses control of his shot, and there's a foul called. Some grief from the stands next to us, but we'll head into another timeout. 23-16 in favor of the Wolverines. 15-0 run. Spartans blank score sheet for the past 5.5.
I mean, you have to be happy with the defense you're playing if you're Michigan. No points in the last 5.5 minutes. Just, I mean, being able to lock them up on defense has been absolutely key. And I mean, especially we've seen Michigan State, they have 4 offensive rebounds so far today. And, you know, they're a team that's really good at crashing the glass, getting those offensive rebounds. But I think the thing we've seen from Michigan is, yes, they are getting those offensive rebounds, but Michigan is not letting them get that second shot. And I think that's really going to be important today.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, a lot of basketball left to play in this one, still 27 minutes. But I've got to be honest, this is some of the most dominant ball I've seen the Wolverines play all season. I mean, the last 5 or so minutes, I mean, that's a team that can beat anybody. Anybody in the country, anybody ranked, put them up against this team, and they look pretty good. And they're getting, you know, people are contributing from all up and down the lineup, which is one of the concerns that we had going into this one. Same with the Wolverines. They just don't have the depth that the Spartans do, or that's you know what the issue was going into this one. But so far, I mean, the Wolverines are getting meaningful minutes from guys off the bench. Roddy Gale Jr. especially.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. And I think some of the, I mean, given this last dominant 5.5 minutes we've seen from Michigan is, you know, you see the Spartans trying to create those opportunities, trying to get the ball into the paint, trying to find those passing lanes, but Michigan really forcing them to the outside. And I think another thing when it comes to the Spartans trying to find those passing lanes is they're even trying to draw those fouls. You know, we said they're the second best free throw shooting team in the nation, or in the Big Ten. They're 5th nationally, but only 2 free throws so far today. So Michigan just being able to limit the fouls is going to be key. Exactly like you said, they don't have the same amount of depth as Michigan State does. And I mean, when you look at their big man, if Vlad Golden gets into foul trouble, they don't really have their option to replace him is Will Cheddar. And when you look at Michigan State, I mean, the height that they have on that team, they just have so many more options for someone to guard inside the paint. So, you know, only 2 free throws. We're already halfway through the first half. I mean, you have to be happy if you're Michigan with the way that these guys are playing out there.
Absolutely. The one thing the Wolverines needed to do was stay out of foul trouble as much as possible. And so far, through about 13 minutes in this one, they have done just that. No matter how, you know, other things may have shaken out, that was the #1 priority. And so far, they're converting. 23-16, again, like we mentioned, if you're just joining us, that is our score. I'm Kendall. I've got Jaden with me on the first half. Alex and Perry will take over for the second. But you're stuck with us for another 7:20. Holloman will shoot. As we get back in the action here from Ann Arbor. First free throw bounces off the rim and in. The junior from Minneapolis. Second money as well. Spartans get some much needed points on the board as Donaldson starts the Wolverines play on the other end. Pig attempt doesn't really work. Golden drops back. Will Cheddar long 3, and it's good. Don't let Will Cheddar get hot.
I mean, long contested 3 for Cheddar, able to get that one to fall. And I mean, he's a player, when he gets going, he can really get hot, and he can be a spark plug for this offense.
Holloman kind of desperate at the logo. Cooper has come up, set a last-second pick. Pass off to Richardson to Booker. Booker trying to drive to the net, has to give it back out for Carr. Up to Holloway at the top of the three-point line. No good, rebounded by the Spartans, and there's a whistle. It's gonna be travel. That's what I thought, but then it took, the boos confused me. There is the Spartan contingent here that can be heard at times.
I mean, a travel on Cohen Carr, but you just, once again, you see him diving through the air for those offensive rebounds. I mean, just such an athletic player.
Danny Wolf tries to drive through about 4 different Spartans and loses the ball instead. We'll go the other way. Holloman. Carr has it up to Cooper at the top of the arc. He's not going to shoot that. Hands it off to Holloman. To Richardson at the logo. In for Cooper. Hands it back off to Holloman. Long two. And it's good. Spartans crawling their way back, 26-20. Wolverines need to respond. Donaldson to Burnett. Burnett for three. No good. Bounce off the front of the rim. Long rebound tipped out to Golden and off the hands of Golden to Donaldson. Couple moves from Donaldson there for passing it to Wolf, trying to drive to the net. Foul called.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Donaldson trying to do the give and go with Danny Wolf there. Wolf trying to send it back to him inside the key, but, I mean, ultimately draws the foul. And, I mean, if you're not able to get the ball on that one, getting a foul called is just as good for Michigan here.
Wolverines inbounding. Get into Golden. Golden out for Wolf. Way on the far right side. Looking back in for Golden. He doesn't have him. Burnett has to come over and help. Burnett going to drive the net himself. Picks up his dribble. Thinks better of it. Has to hand it off to Donaldson. Back out to Burnett. Thinks about the three. Doesn't put it up. Donaldson for three. No good.
Donaldson with an air ball on that one.
Didn't exactly hit anything, but a player on the other side.
I mean, something a little shocking. Donaldson still has 0 points in this game.
Holloman, again, picks up his dribble at the logo. Long pass cross left to Richardson. In for Kohler. Kohler puts it up from the free throw line, bounces in and out, no good. Rebound tips off the hands of a Wolverine and back out for the Spartans to pick up. Richardson doesn't have it, but Cohen Carr's there to slam it in.
I mean, no surprise there, Cohen Carr. We've seen him jumping all over the court today, just being able to get up there at the basket, drop the ball in. It's so easy for him. I mean, he's one of the most athletic players in college basketball.
And there's some commotion down low. I'm not exactly sure what the issue is, but that was a lot of booing and a lot of it from the Maze Rage.
Fans here are not happy at all.
Holloman's going to shoot. All alone down there. First free throw, no good. That's a technical foul. Michigan admin is what it says. That's a team technical. First free throw, no good. Second one is pure. It's a one possession.
You know, I mean, like we were talking about earlier, I really think this game is going to be dependent on these runs. Michigan hasn't scored in the past 2 minutes. So after that 15-0 run we saw, Michigan State kind of just getting something going for themselves here.
Wolf on the near side has the Golden will give and go. Wolf tries to drive to the net. Can't put it up. It's off the hands of Golden. Quickly the other way for Akins. Long lob intended for Carr. This time it was a bit too ambitious. Wolverines go the other way. Burnett puts it down. Except another long lob to Carr on the other side, and that time too high again.
I mean, we've seen on like these
everybody wants to get fancy with it tonight.
I mean, they're just feeding Cohen Carr at this point, just trying to get him above them. I mean, when you have someone who can jump like that and being able to dunk the ball like that, you've got to use them to their advantage. But, I mean, you see they're trying to play so fast.
I mean, that's like the epitome of what this game has been, is 2 half-court lobs for dunks.
Right.
Wolverines get possession after the failed attempt the other way. Foul called on the floor. Didn't get a chance to start that play up. That one's on Cooper, his second personal. And we'll get another timeout. 3:54 to go in this first half. 28-23, Wolverines up over Sparty.
I mean, it's such a competitive game so far. I feel like we're seeing so many of the same possessions being traded off, Michigan and Michigan State. So many similar plays drawn up, but I mean, ultimately Michigan on top by 5.
I feel like we also might be seeing the slipperiest basketball of all time.
I mean, I think that comes from 2 teams that love to play fast. I mean, they both, rely on the speed that they have of their players. And I mean, in turn, that creates more turnovers. That creates, quicker plays, quicker passes. You're getting the ball out faster when you're running so fast down the court to try to get these transition plays, these fast break points. I mean, the ball is just kind of slipping through the hands, slipping through their legs. They're falling on the ground.
I think it went through Cheddar's hands and then through his
on
legs
the ground,
as well. I'm sorry, that did make me giggle just a little bit. No, like you mentioned, Wolverines, they got to feel good so far in this one. Things a little bit maybe, especially in the past few minutes where it seems like no one wants to, they're just playing hot potato down there. They've gotten a little sloppy. They could definitely afford to clean things up a bit, but not exactly a first half to be embarrassed about so far.
No, not at all. There's so many positives that you can take out of this half. I think so many of the things that we were talking about pregame that Michigan was going to have to watch out for, Michigan kind of wanting to force them to take threes. They're 2 for 8 from the three-point line, so they're not finding success on their three-pointers. They've only shot 6 free throws, so there's some success there with limiting the amount of fouls that you're getting, but I think so many of the things we were mentioning, Michigan's done a great job at. I know one thing I've noticed for Michigan State, though, is they have been finding a lot of success on those offensive rebounds, but Michigan's done a great job at limiting those second chance points. And, it's working out so far for Michigan, but we have over a half left of basketball to play. And, we've seen Michigan State come out of halftime down. Especially their game against Oregon. They were down at half, and they came back and won that game. And, they were down by almost 15 in that game, and then you see them come back and win. So this is not a team that you can count out. Tom Izzo, such a successful coach. He has such a legacy on him, and he's done wonders for Michigan State in the past. So, having a coach like that, being down at halftime, it means nothing with this Michigan State team.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with everything that you've said. It really is kind of like the, not stereotypical, but young versus old kind of deal. Tom Izzo, 30th season, at the helm of the Spartans, versus Dusty May, the young guy out there.
Right.
His first season, and it's great to be a basketball fan in the state of Michigan right now. No matter where you went to school, you're enjoying some good basketball. Both teams will come back out to the court. Just a little under 4 remaining. I want to know how I can get one of those hats. They're Mays cowboy hats, and I would love
Must have been the giveaway
tonight. To acquire one. Maybe I'll steal Owens.
I think we might be a little too late for that.
I'm going to steal Owens. And Golden will shoot. Wolverines in the bonus. First free throw up and in.
Golden, not one of the higher free throw percentage shooters on this team, so you would think if you're going to foul anyone, he would be one of the ones that you want to foul.
Second free throw bounces off the front and back of the rim, but doesn't fall in. Quickly the other way. Fears Jr. had speed on his side. Foul called, however. It's going to be on Reuben Jones.
You saw it there on that play, but Fears Jr. is one of those key players, like that point guard for Michigan State, that really has been instrumental in pushing the pace for this team. In his game against Purdue, he did not score at all. So this is definitely someone that they want to get going tonight.
Kohler has it just in front of the Michigan logo, left side to Akins, cross court for Richardson. Back to Akins, trying to do a little quick pass in. Instead, bounces off his hands, turned the ball over. Golden brings it across half court. Gets it out of his hands immediately to Danny Wolf. He doesn't want that. Back to Donaldson. Golden tries to set a pick, nothing going though. Wide open, Danny Wolf for three. No good, bounce off the back of the rim.
You couldn't have been more wide open if you asked.
Akins driving to the net, puts it up and over for two. That's a pretty little play there by Akins. Wolf quickly the other way on the far side with speed, slows it down. Back to Gale. Thinks about the three, thinks better of it. Back to Wolf. Wolf sets a pick for Burnett. Comes off, gets the pass. Donaldson for three. And it's good! Welcome to the game, Trey Donaldson. As Akins goes the other way too quickly and loses the ball out of bounds.
Donaldson with his first points of the game. Michigan immediately able to draw a turnover there on that play, especially Jaden Akins, someone you don't really see that from too often. One of the more experienced players on this team, you know. Not really expected turnovers from those guys.
Gale to Golden at the arc. Has to put his dribble down before he travels. On the near side to Burnett. Almost loses it. Gets it back into Golden. Puts it up. Doesn't fall, but there's a whistle.
Zapawa not happy about that one.
That one's on Kohler. His second personal, the 8th foul for the Spartans. 2:20 to go in the first frame. First free throw bounces in and out. First one, second one up, and this second one good. Fears Jr. trying to get past Burnett. Zapawa and Booker both try and come up and set a pick. They're gonna go with Booker's. Back out to Fears. Still beyond the arc. Cross for Booker. He'll put up the three. And it's good.
I'm almost surprised he shot the three there. He's only shooting about 21% from the three-point line.
Might as well. Donaldson almost stepped out of bounds, but doesn't. Recovers, gets it into Gale, drives the net. Pass out for Wolf to Golden. Spin move. He puts it up for two. Oh boy, he just makes it look easy. Fast the other way. Holloman, mid-range floater, bounces off. Quick response, too. Things have picked up speed here considerably in the final 2 minutes. Whistle on the floor. That one would be on Akins. No, it's a Zapawa. My bad. Second personal foul. Golden will shoot two. Zapawa foul on Golden. There's a political statement somewhere in there, but I'm not making it. Golden's first free throw is beautiful.
And this is Golden's 6th free throw of the night that he's about to shoot. I mean, he's definitely drawing those fouls today.
LJ Kaysen checks in for Golden, shoots his second. And that one's in as well. 37-30. Fears Jr. on the near side. Comes across back towards the center, hedges back to the left. Has Booker open. He'll just pass it back to Fears Jr. The other side trying to get the ball over the head of Burnett into Richardson's hands. He puts it up from the right corner. No good. Gets his own rebound, puts it back up. That time he makes it.
Just an incredible job there by Richardson to keep the play alive, jump up for his own offensive rebound. I mean, just such an athletic play there.
Pass it around a little bit while Danny Wolf tries to quarterback something here. Hands it off to Donaldson, who's cutting back the other way, has Wolf open. Said he's going to try and work past Fears Jr. Golden for three. No good. Bounces off the rim. Rebounded by Holloman. No shot clock here. Timeout. Final 22.8 seconds in the first 20.
I mean, not much time left to play here in this first half, but a lot of things, I think, going well for both teams if you really look at it. I mean, it's only a 5-point game. I mean, it's been competitive the entire time. We have seen both teams go on some runs. We saw Michigan have their one earlier this half, but Michigan State 5 for their last 6, so definitely starting to get something going here as the half winds down. And I mean, a lot of things to build on heading into halftime, I think.
John Beeline's here, taking in the action. Former Wolverine head coach, also here, but not on the screen right now. Wolverine alum and current Detroit Lion, Aiden Hutchinson.
Lots of people in the building tonight.
Everybody wants to watch this Michigan basketball team. Tickets were expensive.
I mean, this is one of the biggest games in Crisler since like 2019. I mean, this is huge.
Moments like this where I love being a student broadcaster.
Right.
Inbounded to Holloman. He's going to take his sweet time. Hover at the logo. Yell at Akins, who's going to run all the way around to the far right corner. Passes it to Richardson. Jerks back a little bit dramatic. But there probably was a foul there. LJ Kaysen is the offender. 5.8 seconds. Spartans now in the bonus. Richardson's first free throw is up and good. Michigan decides to take a timeout. 5.8 seconds to go in the first frame.
I mean, you got to think they're going to try to run a play here, try to draw up their best option, get something going with less than 6 seconds.
Oh, missed free throw maybe, or if he makes it, got to have something figured out for both situations.
Right.
Up at half at the moment. Would love to make that even more drastic. 3-point difference here.
Let's go blue chance.
4-point difference? Which one's right?
It's
Our stats broadcast thing says 34, so I got confused. $37-33, we're going with that one.
Yeah.
It's like now it's 37-34.
Yeah, sure.
3-point lead for the Wolverines. Would love to add to that before the final seconds trickle down. Inbounded to Golden, back to Kaysen. Kaysen going to drive all the way, and they're going to call a foul on Fears Jr. Tried to stick his hand in there and knock it out.
I mean, it looks like all the Michigan State players are confused. Fears Jr. not happy.
Got a little too cute and got punished for it, apparently.
Right. Trey Holloman looks confused, too.
Wolverines in the double bonus now. 3.4 to go. First free throw bounces off the right side of the rim.
I mean, LJ Kaysen, one of those players on Michigan's roster that doesn't get a lot of playing time as some of their other bench players, but I mean, we've seen him be so dynamic and really being able to be one of those pieces that they can slot in and that they can really use. I mean, it just shows how much trust Dusty May has in these players to be able to put him in such a pivotal game like this.
Kaysen's second free throw was good. Spartans now trying to get within one in the final three. Long inbound, has a Powell, long three. No good, bounces off The backboard, that was Fiddler on the last shot of the first half. Wolverines 38, Spartans 34 after 20 minutes of play. Thank you for joining us through the first 20. And what a game so far we've had in this one. Jaden, what do you like from the Wolverines so far through the first half?
I mean, I love their discipline. I think they've done a great job staying disciplined on defense. You know, Michigan State is a team that's really great at getting fast break points, really being able to push the pace, but I think Michigan's done a great job at staying disciplined on defense, something we talked about a lot, not drawing those fouls. They've done a great job. Michigan State has only shot 8 free throws tonight, so, I mean, Vlad Golden, someone we said that we were wanting to watch out for, not getting into foul trouble early. You know, there's someone they're going to need down the stretch of this game, but I mean, really doing a great job of pushing the pace themselves on offense. We saw them go on a 15-0 run. So really just being able to take control of this game on offense and on defense. And, I mean, they're up by 4 at half, so definitely a lot to be proud of in this first half.
Well, nobody's perfect, so
yeah, you're
if the
right.
Wolverines have to work on something, what Dusty May think going to talk to them about in the locker room, what do you want them to improve on when they come back out, start the second?
I mean, it's hard to pick. I mean, one thing you could kind of note is they're 4 for 11 on their three-point shots. I mean, we know Michigan is a good team at shooting from beyond the arc. Not finding so much success tonight, but, I mean, we know they can get going from there. And, I mean, we'll see how it goes. But, I mean, another thing I think you can kind of note, Trey Donaldson, only with 3 points in this game. He's someone that we've seen score a lot in other games this season. So, but I mean, you know, they have so many players that can score on this team, so many players that can produce on any different night. So, I mean, we'll see where this one takes us in the second half.
And this will be my last question, I guess, before we go to a little break. First half, that was not a fun sound. That hurt a little bit. They don't want to hear my question, apparently.
Yeah, I guess not.
First half MVP, who would you like to see more of in the second?
Oh, my gosh, that's such a hard question. I mean, I feel like one of the underrated players that you might not notice as much is leading Michigan in points, Nimari Burnett. I mean, we've seen him take a couple threes. I mean, he's just one of those facilitators for Michigan that's really able to get a lot of other people going. I mean, today he doesn't have any assists today, but I mean, we've seen him be able to be that player for them in the past. I mean, get other people going. He's one of the few returners on this team, the only returner in that starting lineup. So, I mean, he's someone who's played in this rivalry game before. He knows what it's like. But, I mean, someone else, Vlad Golden, inside the paint, being able to get those shots up and then being that player on defense, not drawing those fouls. I say Nimari Burnett and Vlad Golden for Michigan.
Well, Jaden, it's been a pleasure covering this one with you. We'll be back tomorrow. That's
yes,
it
we will.
For the first half. We'll get a little more traditional in the second when Alex and Perry get on here to take our places. I'm Kendall Spencer, Jaden Fode. Thank you guys so much through the first 20. We'll be back at half. Don't go anywhere, and if you do, at least get a good snack. See you soon.
Hello and welcome back into the Crisler Center in Ann Arbor, Michigan. You're listening to WCBN Sports, the official student radio of the University of Michigan. At halftime here between Michigan and Michigan State, 38 Michigan, 34 Michigan State. I'm Alex Miller. Perry Mourtzinos will join me for the second half. Kendall, Spencer, Jaden, Fode just had the first. And well, we've got a big game here. And so far 4-point difference. It's been a good one so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Michigan aided by that 15-0 run, eventually got up to 17-2. Danny Wolf playing some of the best basketball that we've seen coming out of that, little midseason slump that he had. But certainly Michigan has, kind of risen up to the challenge that the Spartans have brought here today.
That has been the case. Running through the box score real quick for the Wolverines. Namari Burnett leads the way with 9. Vlad Golden has 8. Wolf with 7. 3 apiece for Donaldson, Gale Jr. and Cheddar. 2 for Pippen and Reuben Jones. 1 for L.J. Kaysen. And on the other side, for the Spartans, Jace Richardson, the phenom freshman, leads the way with 11. He's 3 for 5. He's 4 for 4 at the free throw line. Trey Holloman with 7. 5 for Jaden Akins. 4 for Cohen Carr, who has been explosive on the offensive glass. 3 for Xavier Booker. And 2 apiece for Jeremy Fears and Carson Cooper.
Yeah, Cohen Carr, name that you mentioned, just getting offensive boards, crashing the glass, especially from the corner. Michigan's just really hasn't been able to find him on box outs all night long. So that's something that could swing a close game down the stretch. And I think we all kind of expect this game to remain close down the stretch. And then obviously you mentioned Jace Richardson. Started hot with a dirty step back 3. Got a layup to go on the next possession as well. So Spartans are going to need more out of those two guys to continue this game.
Michigan State trails by 4 here at halftime. If you're Tom Izzo, you're in the locker room, what are you talking about? What are you looking for second half from your Michigan State Spartans?
I think you're preaching what you've been able to get in that first half. You were able to get offensive boards. You were able to get a couple foul calls. I would also like to see them maybe, if you're the Spartans, try and press up on these ball handlers a little more, especially if Justin Pippen comes in the game. A little more inexperienced, try and get a steal. Michigan's prone to turnovers. We've seen it all year long.
Wolverines in this one, 7 turnovers. The Spartans have turned it over 9 times. Both of these teams will push the pace as much as they can. You'll see the Spartans run not only misses, but also off of made baskets. And something to keep an eye on here in the second half. Michigan's gone to a zone at times on defense. It's worked pretty well, I would say, from watching first half. And on the other side, Michigan State has mixed up their pick and roll coverages. On the 4-5 pick and roll, Wolf and Golden, they've been just flat out switching it. They tend to hedge when it's smaller guards with the ball in their hands.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see how different teams have played that all season long. Wisconsin, especially with their 2 bigs, switched it more. It's going to be interesting how the Spartans kind of play this down the stretch, because that's just been such a hallmark of Michigan's late game offense that I expect it to continue.
Well, here we go. 20 to play, second half here in the Crisler Center. Michigan leads by 4, 38-34. 20 minutes left to decide who will leave this building atop the Big Ten. Both teams will have their starters on the court. It'll be Michigan State basketball. For Michigan, Trey Donaldson, Reuben Jones, Vlad Golden, Danny Wolf, Namari Burnett. And for Michigan State, Jace Richardson, Jeremy Fears Jr., Jaden Akins, Jackson Kohler, and Shimon Zapawa. And here we go. It'll be with Jeremy Fears Jr. Redshirt freshman point guard has the Block M logo. Sends it on a bounce to the elbow to Kohler. Left elbow he has Danny Wolf on him. Kohler sends it up top. There's Jeremy Fears. Fears enters the post to Kohler. He has Golden on his hip. Golden on the left block. Sends it out to Fears. One more into the corner. Open right wing corner for Richardson. Got it. A 3-ball. Good for Jace Richardson. 38-37, 19:33 to play.
Really nice inside-outside basketball there from Michigan State.
Donaldson has it left wing for Michigan. Sends it to Reuben Jones, top of the key. Thought about a 3, gives it to Golden, hands it back to Jones. He's up top. Now in Amari Burnett. Now in the left corner, there's Donaldson. He's left alone, takes a 3. It twirls around and off, no good. 38-37 Michigan, 19:14 to play. Jaden Akins up the left side. He's at the wing. Now to the short corner to Kohler. Kohler will bring it up top, now hand it off to Akins on the wing. He drives the basketball down on the left side and got it blocked. Golden and Amari Burnett teamed up to knock it out of bounds. It'll be Michigan State basketball on the baseline.
Yeah, nice shot by Burnett there, getting beat on the drive, but able to kind of recover, block from behind. Very, very good defense from Burnett.
It's in to Zapawa. He hands it off to Richardson. He's up top, uses the screen, steps back to the side, puts up a 3, no good. He went down on the shot, and it stays with Michigan State on the rebound. Vlad Golden tipped it out of bounds. We'll be back on the baseline for Michigan State. Michigan leads 38-37, 18:54 to play here in the second half.
Yeah, another problem there. Golden just unable to corral that rebound. These extra possessions that Michigan State's going to get, especially if you keep on giving, a guy like Jace Richardson open looks, these are eventually going to just continue to fall.
Jeremy Fears Jr. sends it into Zapawa. He's at the elbow, hands it off to Fears. He'll set this Michigan State offense up at the logo. Has Donaldson on him. Drives to the elbow, now picks up his dribble into the post on the right block. Just a little behind it is Kohler. Kohler sends it up for Fears. He's up top. Now is a double screen, one on either side of Big. He uses Kohler's to his right. 2 on the shot clock. He has to hoist. Deep three-pointer off the glass, nothing else. Shot clock violation. Ball back to the Wolverines, 38-37 Michigan, 18:33 to play here in Ann Arbor.
Just great on-ball defense from the Wolverines, just not allowing Fears to get inside. He's a pass-first guy. That's what you wanted to get to. Certainly you can live with that shot with the 7-foot guy defending him at the top of the key.
It's down to Golden. Tried to get it big to Wolf on the other block. Pass intercepted. Here come the Spartans. Fears will push it. And now slow it down to the wing to Akins. Akins left wing into the left corner. There's Fears Jr. Now into the post to Kohler, and Reuben Jones poked it away out of bounds. It'll be back with the Spartans in the left corner, inbound. 38-37 Michigan.
And more so than steals and blocks, the one defensive stat that I like to look at is deflections, right? How can it reset the defense? How can it allow them to refine their matchups? Big deflection there from Reuben.
Spartans get it into Akins. Now up top to Jeremy Fears Jr. 14 on the clock for the Spartans. Fears picks up his dribble, looks for some help here. Now enters the post to Kohler. He's on the left block, sends it back out. Fears, open three-pointer off the double team. Good, Jeremy Fears from the left wing. Spartans take the lead back 40-38 Michigan State, 17:48 to play here in the second half. Donaldson crosses over from the top of the key, drives the basketball, and lost it out of bounds. He threw it out himself. No Spartan touched it. Back to Michigan State, 40-38 Spartans, 17:43 to play.
Yeah, Burnett was coming on a baseline drive. Donaldson didn't really see him, just try to go up himself. But Wolverines need to find something here on offense. Haven't scored in the second half.
Fears the block M logo, now dribbles it left, bounces it to Akins, high on the left wing. Akins sends it to Zapawa at the top of the key, and he throws it away. Miscommunication as Richardson cut down. Zapawa threw it into the crowd. Michigan basketball, 40-38 Spartans, 17:28 to play in the second half.
Michigan needs to stop this run somehow on offense. Get the ball to Danny Wolf, get the ball to Trey Donaldson, make some off-ball cuts here. That's how you stop a run. It started on the defensive end. They got a big stop there. Now how can you kind of fix it and tie up this game?
Carson Cooper in for Zapawa on the Michigan State side. Donaldson gives it to Namari Burnett on the left wing. Burnett uses a double screen to his right now over to Donaldson on the left wing. He skips it to Wolf, high to the left elbow. Now down low to the left block. There's Golden. Power dribble with 2 hands. Righty hook fades away. Good. Soft touch for Vlad Golden. We're tied. 40-all, 17 to play. Fears has it just in front of half court. Namari Burnett in his grill. Uses a screen from Kohler to his left. Now sends it up to Kohler at the top of the key. Kohler picks up his dribble. Back over to Fears on the left wing. Now to Cooper, top of the key. He hands it off. Akins, contested 3 at the top. No good off the left side of the iron. Rebound Trey Donaldson. Here comes Michigan, 40-40 is our score. Donaldson crosses over, drives the right lane, out to Wolf on the right wing. He stops the elbow, back out to Trey. Donaldson on the wing. Wolf slips to the basket. Inside Golden, baby hook, good. Another soft touch bucket for Vlad Golden. 42-40 Michigan, 16:20 to play. Down go the Spartans. Left corner 3 for Akins. No good. Rebound tipped around and eventually squeezed by Danny Wolf. Richardson nearly ripped it away from him. Wolf holds on and he'll go the other way up the left side. Uses a screen from Reuben Jones. Picks it up, throws it inside a Golden. Contested catch, but they'll put a foul on the floor first. I believe that'll go on Jaden Akins.
And they've gone back to this Wolf Golden on the last possession and then this possession as well that led to the foul. It's just a problem. How can Michigan State guard it? And we've talked about it earlier when we were coming out of the break. Are they going to switch it? Are they going to hedge it? Right now it's been baseline cuts to dump offs to sky hooks. How does Michigan State kind of counterattack when you have a 7-foot guy like Danny Wolf who's just so crafty inside and can finish really anything? But then if he can pass it to his other 7-footer, it's just a very good spot to be in if you're the Wolverines.
Cheddar and Gale Jr. enter for Michigan. Frankie Fiddler enters for the Spartans. Donaldson will inbound it from the short corner left side. Donaldson surveys, lobs it up to Cheddar. He catches on the left wing, nearly tied up by Richardson. Instead gets it back behind him to Danny Wolf. Wolf drives right down the lane, picks up his dribble, extends, puts it up, and they will put the foul on the floor, and more boos Rained down. Wolf took a bump as he tried to turn the corner around the right elbow. Got fouled on the floor. 42 Michigan, 40 Michigan State. Even 16 on the clock. We'll head to a break. Michigan by 2.
Yeah, and bringing in Cheddar on that pick and roll just completely changed the dynamic. Cheddar more of a shooter than Golden is. Golden has proven that he can knock down the three, but nowhere near at the level that Cheddar is. And that memory of Will Cheddar knocking down the deep right wing three earlier in the first half kind of still in the Spartans' minds. That allows, Danny Wolf to kind of turn the corner. It's just a different way that the Spartans have to defend that pick and roll.
Those 2 fouls went on Kohler and Zapawa for the Spartans. They've got a lot of depth, though, for their bigs. Zapawa, Kohler, Cooper, and also Xavier Booker will all see time in the 4 and 5 spots. But 42 Michigan, 40 Michigan State, 16 to play. What do you see in those first 4 minutes of the second half?
Michigan started out a little bit slower, right? The Spartans were hitting from deep. Richardson had the early three-pointer, and then they were just running with Fears, running with Akins. Eventually, the Wolverines were able to set it down and get it to what they know best. Wolf and Golden, when the ball's in Danny Wolf's hands and he plays within himself, it's a very, very dangerous offense. At times, he can be perhaps too aggressive, too impulsive with the ball, just throwing, quick passes. We saw earlier with the congested turnover. But Danny Wolf right now playing very much within himself to start this second half, limiting that Spartans run, what was only a short run, not like the Wolverines had in the first half.
Michigan by 2, 42-40, 16 to play here in the second half. You're listening to WCBN Sports, the official student radio of the University of Michigan.
Something that stood out to me in this one, too, Michigan obviously one of the highest scoring offenses in the Big Ten. Haven't had to rely on the three as much in this game. Only 4 threes made. Nomari Burnett, normally their sharpshooter, only 1 for 3. This has been a much more inside game for them, and it's kind of created a different dimension of offense that we really haven't seen all year.
Michigan is 4 for 12 from the three-point line. The Spartans are 5 for 16 from 3. Michigan is shooting 55% from the field. Spartans only at under 37%. Difference, though, the Spartans have put up 38 shots. This is the 29 of Michigan. Spartans winning the rebound battle 20-13.
I would look for Izzo to go to Cohen Carr right now. Get a little bit of spark coming out of the under 16 timeout. Try and get those rebounding totals up. See if maybe you can get an alley-oop in. Just try and fire up this Spartan side.
Spartans have 10 offensive rebounds so far in this one.
And if Michigan does choose to go into the zone, with Cohen Carr out there, with, a guy like Carson Cooper, not as much of shooters as a guy like Xavier Booker is, and they go to zone, that allows guys to crash the boards. It's much harder to find who you're boxing out when you're in a 2-3 zone rather than just straight up man. So that could be another just something that isn't going to be talked about enough if Izzo chooses to go this way.
We've seen this Michigan State team struggle against the zone at times this year. Indiana deployed it pretty effectively a few games back. In a game that the Spartans, fell by 4 to the Hoosiers. This Michigan State team is the worst three-point shooting team in the Big Ten, just 29.1%.
Yeah, the 2 main ways to break your zone, right? You have to get into the middle of the floor, or you just have to outshoot it. And right now, the Spartans really just aren't that good of a shooting team, so they have to get in the middle of the floor, work from inside, and we're going to have to see if the Wolverines do choose to go that round defense.
42-40 Michigan, 16 to play, and Trey Donaldson sends it into Will Cheddar up top. He hands it back to Roddy Gale Jr. on the right wing. Now over to Donaldson up top, and there's a foul on the floor. That'll go, I believe, on Cheddar. Tried to set an off-ball screen to free up Donaldson.
Yeah, he had a loose ball foul in the first half as well, so kind of 2 weird fouls on Will Cheddar. I mean, nothing to be concerned about. 2 is plenty fine, but something that needs to be cleaned up.
Trey Holloman sends it to Carson Cooper on the left wing. Now up top, Frankie Fiddler, who didn't play much in the first half. He sends it up top for Holloman. Now one more to Richardson. He has Danny Wolf on him on the left wing. But he skips it over to Holloman. One more Fiddler right wing. He drives to the elbow, has his back to the basket. Now up top, Holloman. 5 on the shot clock. Ball has not entered the area, and there goes Holloman. Drives to the cup right side, scoops it home. Tie game, 42-all. Michigan back the other way with Roddy Gale Jr. on the right wing. Roddy Gale Jr. drives baseline, took a bump from Fiddler, sends it way up for Donaldson, who keeps it in the forecourt. Now over to Wolf on the left wing. Wolf gets a screen from Reuben Jones, uses it to his left. Cohen Carr stays with Wolf. Wolf backs him down. He's on the block. Wolf spins, left-handed hook shot, too strong. Cheddar the rebound, but a foul called as Cheddar created some space underneath. He'll pick up his third foul there. No counting on the basket. 42 all, 15:03 to play.
Yeah, good defense by Cohen Carr, forcing Danny Wolf into kind of an awkward shot there from the baseline. As you said, Cheddar just getting a little too aggressive trying to offensive board. Maybe not necessarily a big push, but when the ref sees the hands on the back, that's going to be called.
Fiddler sends it up top for Holloman, who drives right off a screen, lobs it to the roller. Cooper, who stuffs it home. Excellent pass from Holloman. Cooper stuffs it. 44 Sparty, 42 Michigan, 14:40 to play. It's with Roddy Gale Jr. on the right wing. He drives down, takes a floater. About a 12-foot shot, no good. Rebound Cooper. He'll give it to Holloman. Trey Holloman will push it up, stop at the top of the key. His Spartans lead by 2. Uses the Cooper screen to his right. Stops just in front of the block, skips into the corner. Now one more Fiddler up top. Fiddler drives right into Roddy Gale Jr., goes into him, leans in, can't finish, no foul. Ball picked up on a bounce by Roddy Gale Jr. Michigan will go back the other way. Gale Jr. sends it to Donaldson. Pass got tipped. Trey runs it down in the left corner. Now to Reuben Jones high in the left wing. Now back to Donaldson in the left corner. Now over to Reuben Jones up top. One more Roddy Gale Jr. Thought about a 3 on the right wing. Still has his dribble. Has yet to put it down. Instead sends it up to Wolf. Wolf pump fakes, drives left. Now Reuben Jones, left wing. Thought about a 3. Now drives the basketball to the right side. 5 on the clock for Michigan. Outside Gale. He'll hoist up a right wing 3. Gets nothing. An air ball long to the left. No good. Out of bounds. Michigan State basketball. 44-42 Michigan State. 13:46 to play.
Yeah, not the shot the Wolverines are looking for. 2 non-shooters out there in Gale Jr. and Golden. Reuben Jones can shoot when he gets hot. Very streaky shooter, but that's going to lead to some problems for Michigan in the half court.
Brief 1-2-2 press for Michigan. Easily across the timeline for the Spartans. Michigan in a zone. It's up top with Fiddler. Now to Holloman, right wing. He'll drive it inside. Leave it for Cooper. He got gold in the air. Goes on the left side. Gets blocked by the underside of the rim. Danny Wolf the rebound. Wolf on the left wing will set this Michigan offense up. He brings Golden for a screen. Rejects it. Spins left. Drives home. Reverses. He got blocked by the underside of the rim. Just like the other way. Outlet pass up ahead. Richardson spins around. Donaldson finishes with the left hand. Crafty stuff from the freshman, Jace Richardson. Sparty by 4, 46-42, 13 to play. Timeout, Michigan.
Yeah, and 6-0 run coming out of that under 16 media timeout. Just missed layups are the most dangerous missed shots in basketball. Why they allow just the team to just run the other way, and they were able to do that with Richardson, and Donaldson is helpless against Jace Richardson on the defensive end. I wonder if Dusty May is going to bring out one more shooter. Will Cheddar, obviously, with his third fouls, it's tough to play him, but this would be a perfect spot, I feel like, for a guy like Sam Walters, obviously unavailable today due to a back injury, but I expect Amari Burnett to kind of come back in this game, just try and space the floor for the Wolverines in a way that maybe Roddy Gale Jr. just does not.
We'll say hello to the folks at home on the broadcast cam. Alex Miller, Perry Mourtzinos alongside me. Just thrilled to be here in a, packed house here in the Crisler Center. Great crowd on hand. There's a reason. This is a big-time game.
Yeah, maybe the biggest game in Crisler Center, at least for a decade. In-house rival, top 15 matchup, Big Ten at stakes. Both teams were 4 seeds in Joe Lunari's latest bracketology as well. That just came out this morning. So, law on the line tonight.
Whoever wins this will leave atop the Big Ten. These two teams play later in the year. They wrap up the season against each other on March 9th in the Breslin Center in East Lansing. But, this game, by the looks of where this picture is, as we round out this season, is going to play a pretty big role in who leads in the Big Ten. Doesn't matter a ton. Top 4 teams will get a double bye in the Big Ten tournament, but this would be a huge quad 1 win and then some for either of these two teams. Yeah, and especially if you're the Wolverines, right, having to go on the road to play Michigan State again. This is a game that you want to have just in your back pocket. Michigan State does have a little bit of a harder schedule down the stretch, but Michigan still has to play Maryland, still has to play Illinois. Rutgers is a potential trap game. Yeah. On the road at Nebraska isn't a game that you love as a Wolverines I love my
fan
Cornhuskers. I watch that team a lot. It's a good Nebraska team, even if they're scuffling a little bit right now.
Just a dangerous spot to play. So if you're the Wolverines, this isn't a must-win game by any stretch, but a game that you would definitely like to have and potentially just claim a regular season Big Ten championship in Dusty May's first season at the helm.
Michigan entered the locker rooms at halftime up 4. They now trail by 4. Michigan State 46, Michigan 42. 13-13 to play here in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, Michigan's comfortable in these type of games, right? These up and down, back and forth. It was like that against Ohio State. Like that a little bit at home against Purdue. Even Indiana on the road, they got out to a big league, and then Indiana kind of chipped away. Michigan really hasn't blown out a team in conference play at all. So this is a game that they're very comfortable playing. Obviously, you know, for the student section in the crowd, you'd love to see a blowout, but you're just not going to see that all the time.
This win streak that the Wolverines are on, they beat Ohio State by 3, Purdue by 2, IU by 3, Oregon by 4, Rutgers by 3, and Penn State by 4 after bouncing back after getting hammered in Mackey Arena by Purdue. Yeah. But as you said, nothing by a very large margin as of late. Wolverines have played a lot of close games. They've won a lot of close games. We're going to have to do the same thing tonight here at home.
Absolutely.
We'll get back to it here. 46-42, Michigan State, Michigan ball. Trey Donaldson will bring it up. He's on the floor with Roddy Gale Jr., Vlad Golden, Reuben Jones, and Danny Wolf. Up top for Reuben Jones, uses the Wolf screen to his right, picks up his dribble, gives it to Wolf at the top of the key. Now over to Reuben Jones. He'll enter the post to Vlad Golden on the right block. Golden backs in, spins to his left, puts up a hook. No good, but a whistle blows.
A little bit of a bailout call there. Golden getting your spot that he's very comfortable right in between, you know, the circle and the foul line. So definitely a comfortable shot that he's comfortable taking. But going to the free throw line, definitely a good outcome for the Wolverines just to kind of halt this little run that the Spartans are on.
Vlad Golden will shoot the free throws here. 4 for 6 so far today. Gets the first one to fall. 46-43 Michigan State. Golden on the year, a 74% free throw shooter. Michigan, though, is without a field goal in their last 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Also, that foul is on Carson Cooper. It's his third. Couple bigs for Michigan State in foul trouble here. Golden gets the second one as well. Cuts it to a 2-point game. 46-44. Michigan State on top. 12:53 to play as Trey Holloman brings it up for the Spartans. That leaves it for Cohen Carr, who sends it to Jaden Akins on the right wing. Uses a screen from Kohler to his left. Drives hard into Golden. Finishes on the left side. The lefty goes left and gets 2. Sparty by 4. 48-44. 12:38 to play. Michigan pushes. Nimari Burnett. Right corner 3. Yes, sir! Nimari Burnett in front of his bench buries a big-time triple. We were just talking about it. He could shoot the basketball. Michigan needs him. 48-47 Michigan State. It's with Jaden Akins up top. Roddy Gale Jr. on him. Akins sends it over to Holloman. Wide open left wing 3. Good. Holloman with the answer. Michigan State right back up by 4. 51-47. 12:10 to play. Roddy Gale Jr. on the right wing, has a Wolf screen, now picks up his dribble, gives it to Wolf up top. Wolf has Fiddler on him, a little bit of a size advantage for Wolf. Gives to the post to Golden, sees a double from Fiddler. Golden spins around Kohler, left side, no good. A follow attempt, good. Vlad Golden stuck with it right in front of the cup, put it right back home. 51-49 Sparty, 11:46 to play. Holloman hands it to Carr, now over to Akins up top. In the Block M logo, has a screen from Jackson Kohler, pulls up right behind it, top of the key 3, no good. Kohler crashed the glass, got the rebound, outside Holloman, left wing 3, good. Back-to-back triples for Trey Holloman. 54-49 Michigan State, 11:25 to play. Donaldson used a double screen from both bigs to his right, sends it to Wolf, who now used a Golden screen to his right, now to Donaldson deep on the right wing. Donaldson sets it back up, crosses over, skips it. Burnett on the left wing. Inside, Golden. Golden on the left block, Kohler on his hip. Golden, ball to the floor, picks it up on a double. Burnett skips it over. Trey Donaldson, open right wing 3. No good, off the front iron. Rebound picked up by Trey Holloman. He'll push the pace. Here come the Spartans. Holloman now will slow it down up top. He'll set this thing up. Gets a screen from Kohler to his right. In and out dribble on Wolf. Pulls up a deep 3 on the right wing. Yes, sir! Are you kidding me? Trey Holloman, 3 straight triples. Michigan State by 8. Gale Jr. rumbles into the lane. Gets fouled on the floor. 57-49. Michigan State on a run. 10:43 left to play. There's your under 12 media timeout. How about this shooting display from Trey Holloman?
Just simply feeling it. Hit one wide open over Danny Wolf. That last one a little bit more of a fadeaway, but again, allowing these outside shooters to get hot. Not exactly a spot that you want the Wolverines to be in. Going back on the other side, right, we had the Burnett corner 3 in which Danny Wolf was practically begging for the ball from Trey Donaldson because he saw Burnett wide open in the corner. How are they going to kind of slow the game down here? How are the Wolverines going to play within themselves and not allow Trey Holloman to continue just killing them from deep?
Holloman now has 18, 6 for 10 from the field, 3 for 4 from long range. All 3 of those just now in a barrage. Michigan State's lead is 8, 57-49, 10:43 to go. Holloman on the season under 32% from long range, but just some days in a big rivalry game, that matter doesn't mean much when you can stroke it. Holloman a couple big-time shots.
Absolutely, and a player that I'm interested in watching down the stretch for the Wolverines is Roddy Gale Jr., one of their best finishers inside, drives very, very hard, was a starter earlier this year, recently got moved to the bench in favor of Reuben Jones, who's most likely their best on-ball defender. Doesn't really fit within the Dusty May kind of offense in terms of playing fast, shooting the three. That's not really his skill set. So how does Roddy Gale Jr. find another way to impact the game? Can he drive to the rim and get fouls? But in transition, how is that going to play against a team like the Spartans?
Another thing to keep an eye on here is we have 10:43 to play. 3 bigs for Michigan State have 3 fouls. Jackson Kohler, Shimon Zapawa, and Carson Cooper. Xavier Booker has none. He's only played for 8 minutes. But, you know, that kind of depth where you have 4 front court guys you're comfortable with leaves Tom Izzo feeling a little bit safer than he might if he had less front court depth with all those guys with 3 fouls, but certainly something to keep an eye on here with 10:43 to play in the second half. Michigan State 57, Michigan 49.
Extremely important when you have that front court depth, as you said, especially going against 2 7-footers like Vlad Golden, like Danny Wolf. Danny Wolf in particular, more of a crafty finisher. Vlad Golden just consistently overpowering people. That's hard for forwards just to defend possession in, possession out. It leads to fouls. It leads to potentially opportunities for the Wolverines to kind of drive and kick off of that if a double does come, just to kind of protect that big from fouling out.
The Spartans are now 8 for 20 from downtown, 40%, well above what they shoot it on the year. It's just 29.1, but you know, a lot of that, the 3 we just saw, Trey Holloman bury back to back to back. Michigan gonna have to find a way to get some stops here down the stretch.
Yeah, and he's a big part of their 29 points off the bench, right? Michigan only 9 points off the bench. Most of that's been Cheddar. Golden has a couple points, or not Golden, excuse me, Gale Jr. has a couple points as well. So that's another area where, you know, the Spartans' depth, something that we talked about coming out of the half, something that we're mentioning now with in terms of fouls. Just consistently showing up time and time again. And in a big conference game like this one that's sure to be physical, one that's more low scoring, that type of thing just matters more and more and more.
You know, when you look, by the way, at Trey Holloman, who's got the 18, he's played 16 minutes. Holloman came off the bench in the first 7 games, then started 16 straight for the Spartans. He's now been off the bench for the last 3. Still plays a big role for this Spartan team that has 6 guys play 20 minutes per game. All 10 in this rotation play at least 10 minutes, but Holloman has made his impact off the bench for Michigan State. And here we go, back to it. 10:43 to play, 57-49 Michigan State. It's into Danny Wolf. He drives from the elbow, spins to his left hand, stays in the air, and toilet bowls around and down for Wolf as he extended that left arm. Tough finish, cut to the 6, 57-51 Michigan State. 10:30 to play. It's with Holloman on the right wing. Michigan in a 2-3 zone look here. Up top for Carr, into the elbow. DeFeers down low. Kohler right block goes into Cheddar and finishes. No call as Will Cheddar hit the deck. 59-51 Michigan State. 10:15 to play here in the second half. Roddy Gale Jr. has it right wing. Had a screen from Cheddar, who was right, didn't use it. Throws it to Wolf on the left wing. He drives down, kicks it out Cheddar. He's on the left wing, all the way across to Donaldson on the right wing. Now way back across to Burnett. Left wing has Cheddar for a screen. Now leaves it for Wolf, just inside the three-point line on the left elbow. Backs in, tough fade to the baseline. No good off the back iron. Ball bounced around and goes out of bounds. It'll go off of Jackson Kohler and stay with Michigan. 59-51 Michigan State. 9:51 to play here in the second half.
Great job by Will Cheddar there. Knows he has 3 fouls. Knows that he has 2 loose balls. Trying to get offensive boards, just forcing Kohler to kind of make a play, and Kohler's just unable to do so. Getting extra possessions for the Wolverines now.
Justin Pippen in for Donaldson. He was the inbounder. Now got it back from Cheddar in the right corner. Now up top to Cheddar. Back to Pippen on the right wing. Now into the right corner for Burnett. Gets a screen from Wolf, doesn't use it, goes left, out to Pippen, one more, Gale Jr., left corner 3 is up, way too long, an air ball, and a push-off underneath called on Cohen Carr. He knocked Danny Wolf away. That's a gift that gives Michigan a second possession here.
Yeah, bailout there for the Wolverines. Interesting that we've seen Gale already take 2 threes in this game. I can't even remember the last game that I took 1, let alone 2. One was, the shot clock's winding down. You got to throw something up. But that one, not necessarily a shot that I think the Wolverines want.
Wolf to the bench for Golden. Pippen looks to get it in, and its pass was deflected by Carr, who can just fly. It ends up with Fears Jr. He'll push it up now, set up, top of the key. Has a right hand in the air, slows it down, holds a finger in the air, sets up this offense. Maybe that was a horns. He brought 2 screeners up. Has on the left wing, now gives it back to Cohen Carr. Now to Akins. Akins up top, Will Cheddar on him. Used the screen from Cole to his right. Vlad Golden hedges it. Now he'll stay on Akins. Akins crossed over, shake and bake, pull up 2, no good. Roddy Gale Jr. the rebound in a collision underneath. I believe this foul will go on Jackson Kohler. To me, it looked like a brunt of that hit came from Will Cheddar.
Yeah.
But they'll put the foul on Michigan State. 16th foul on the Spartans in the second half. Michigan 1 away from the bonus here.
Yeah, that's just a phenomenal rebound by Roddy Gale. Maybe a little bit of an acting job, as you said, but already Michigan State, 9 minutes left. Foul trouble for their bigs, foul trouble otherwise.
That's Kohler's 4th.
Yeah, exactly. So just massive things that are going to matter late in this game.
Reuben Jones has the ball, sends it to Cheddar, right wing. Pump faked on Fiddler, now drives, spins toward the baseline. Now jab, sends it out, Burnett on the right wing. Cheddar comes to set him a screen, slips it out to the right corner. Cheddar a 3, no good off the back iron. Fiddler the rebound. And now here comes Fears Jr. up the middle. Past Cheddar, blows by it on the left side. Keeps his dribble onto the baseline, now wraps it back out to Jaden Akins. And he'll stand up in the block M, set this up to Jace Richardson on the right wing. Burnett switches onto him. Now a screen comes from Zapawa. Richardson keeps Burnett on his hip, drives in, hangs in the air, got fouled by Burnett, who was on his hip the whole time. Richardson will shoot 2, 59-51, Michigan State, 8:24 to play in the second half.
Yeah, just hanging in the air that extra second just makes kind of just trying to block it from the back just a little bit that much harder when you're not exactly sure when they're going to shoot it. Something that's interesting, though, for the Wolverines on offense. No Trey Donaldson, no Justin Pippen, no LJ Case, and Reuben Jones is going to be your primary ball handler. Something that we've seen more in recent games is Dusty May just really hasn't seen either Pippen or Case and Kai take the backup point rolls. Just more confident with Reuben Jones back there. It's going to be kind of interesting to see down the stretch.
Richardson hit his first free throw on the season. He's an 87% shooter. 60-51, Michigan State takes a few dribbles. Second free throw, rattles off. Got every part of the rim and just didn't want to fall home. 60-51, Michigan State. Reuben Jones, who's back in, will bring it up for Michigan. Has Richardson on him, crossed over, drives down the right lane. Jump stop, sends it to Golden. He might have walked as he stepped forward to put it up with his left hand. Yes, he did. Caught it, didn't put it on the floor, took 3 steps. Turnover number 12 for Michigan.
Yeah, just thought he got it a little bit too far back there. Thought he was a little closer to the hoop. But I expect the Wolverines to make a run at some point here late in this game. This is usually where they kind of start to kick it back into gear.
Fiddler at the free throw line. Now back out to Fears Jr. with Reuben Jones on him up top. Now Richardson deep on the left wing. Michigan back in the zone look. Fears drives down the lane, goes into Golden, banks it home. Strong finish for Jeremy Fears Jr. 62-51 Michigan State. Namari Burnett left wing. Picks up his dribble, needs some help. Gets it Gale Jr. short corner. He backs in. Now gets a double from Fears, and a whistle blows. Either on Fears or Holloman. They'll put it on Holloman, the man originally on Gale Jr. That'll bring us to the under 8 media timeout. 62-51 Michigan State. 7:39 to play here in the second half. Michigan will shoot the 1-and-1 in the form of Roddy Gale Jr. after the break.
How do you stop runs, right? It starts on the defensive end. It starts with stops. Earlier, when we came back from kind of the under 12 media timeout, it was Trey Holloman just nailing 3 after 3 after 3. Now that we've come back, it's been Jeremy Fears just crafty inside. It's been Akins a little bit. It's been dump-offs to guys like Kohler, guys like Fiddler. How do the Wolverines stop this now is the question. I expect Trey Donaldson to come back to kind of help ease the pain in the half-court offense, but they're going to have to shoot their way out of it a little bit. I expect a play drawn up for Namari Burnett here in the near future, but they got to get stops on the defensive end first, and that's where it starts.
Michigan on the scoring drought of 2 seconds under 3 minutes, 2:58 without a point for the Wolverines. On the other side, Michigan State 4 for their last 5 from the field. Spartans lead by 11.
State has just been prepared coming out of the half from this zone. They've killed the zone in at least these last 3 minutes for sure, whether that's outside, inside. So I wouldn't be shocked if the Wolverines try and go back to a man low.
Biggest lead of the evening right now for Michigan State. It is 11, 62-51 Spartans. Now basketball, they say it all the time, it's a game of runs. Right now, most things going the Spartans' ways other than the foul trouble, really. But Michigan's got to find a way to punch back here, throw a jab, get back into this one with 7:39 to play and a down 11.
Yeah, and this is the first team that we've really seen run like Michigan can run and do it against the Wolverines extremely well. And so I wonder, is Dusty May just going to kind of stick to his guns and say, okay, let's just be him straight up playing the same game? Or is he going to try and slow the game down, try and drive more inside with those 7 fouls that Michigan State has, just try and get looks at the line? So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how May plays this one down the stretch.
Michigan has 10 fast break points to 8 for the Spartans. 12 turnovers for Michigan, 10 for Michigan State.
And Michigan, I do give them some credit, right? Limiting the turnovers, that was a big issue earlier in the season, really kind of reared its big head against Purdue at Mackey. And since then, they've gotten consistently better against it and done a decent job of at least limiting the live ball turnovers to a team that likes to run like the Spartans do. So they have done a good job of that. But now it's a question of how can you operate the half-court offense.
Bit of an applause here from the Maize and Blue faithful. Aiden Hutchinson in the building tonight and on the Jumbotron. Beloved Wolverine, beloved Detroit Lion. Wolverines back on the floor. And Roddy Gale Jr. will shoot the 1-and-1 here. Got fouled on the floor, 17 foul in the second half on Michigan State. Gale Jr. a 79% shooter on the season. He's only 1 for 3 though tonight.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people expected Gale Jr. to be a bigger part of their offense. He's done a really nice job on the defensive end in this one. Hopefully he can contribute something to the offensive end.
Gale Jr. bounces the basketball 2 times, bends the knees. First free throw is up and good. 62-52. Got to hit the front end. Roddy Gale Jr. did just that. For Michigan on the floor right now, it's Wolf, Burnett, Gale Jr., Jones, and Golden. For Michigan State, it's Fears Jr., Holloman, Zapawa, Richardson, and Carr. Roddy Gale bends the knees once more. Second free throw good. He got them both. Cuts it to 9. 62-53 Michigan State. 7:39 to play. 1-2-2 press on here for the Michigan Wolverines in the full court. Holloman looks, gets it into Fears. Fears sees a double from Burnett and Jones. Gets it over to Holloman. Back to Fears. He's across the timeline with Reuben Jones on him. Leaves it behind him for Trey Holloman. Zone look from the Wolverines. Fears at the right wing. Now over to Richardson. Back up top. Pass nearly intercepted. It's Cohen Carr. Back to Richardson. He drives toward the baseline. Now spins it back out. Hop step into the lane. Outside Fears. He'll drive it down. Floater is short. About a 4-foot runner. No good. Bodies on the floor. Loose ball. Poked ahead by Roddy Gale Jr. He'll pick it up left wing. Pass between his legs. Nimari Burnett, left wing 3. No. Wolf there for the follow on the right side. Nobody else was down there but Danny Wolf. Body after body to the floor. The Wolverines catch a break. They cut it to 7. 62-55. 6:53 to play. Holloman over to Fears up top. One more Richardson. Zone still on for Michigan. Richardson surveys. Now puts it on the deck on the right wing. Needs some help. Bounce it behind him to Jeremy Fears Jr. Fears up top, turns it over, pass tipped away by Burnett, and Roddy Gale Jr. gives it right back to Fears. Now a shovel pass to Carr, who elevates, and boy, went straight into some contact, somehow got it up to the rim. It nearly went down, it rattled off, but Cohen Carr, the explosive number 55, will shoot a pair. 62-55 Michigan State.
Yeah, I can't believe that ball had any chance of going in. He jumped from the free throw line, was pointing at the Michigan State bench, just kind of threw it up there. But just a poor turnover, poor giveaway there from Gale Jr. when the Wolverines looked like they were going to be able to run again.
First free throw for Carr, hit the rim 3 times and ended up off to the left. He's a 68.9% shooter. First chance at the stripe today. He starts 0 for 1. 62-55 Michigan State. We talked about Michigan needing a run at some point. Not quite there, but good start out of the under 8 media timeout. Carr misses the second one. Got the rim and the glass, no good. He missed them both. 62-55, Michigan State, 6:25 to play. Reuben Jones at the logo. Now over to Roddy Gale Jr., left wing, inside to Golden. Ball punched away by Cohen Carr, who tried to front Golden. It'll be Michigan basketball in the corner on the left side.
Great defense by Carr there. Just ball denial was extremely, extremely impressive there. Just not allowing Vlad Golden to kind of get inside, get into his post move. Great job there by the freshman.
Reuben Jones will inbound it on the sideline in the left corner. 17 on the shot clock for Michigan. It's into Damari Burnett left wing. Now to Vlad Golden at the top of the key. He hands it behind him for Wolf. Wolf to a cutting Golden. He stuffs it with the right hand. He rolled home and left no doubt with his right hand. 62-55 Michigan State. 6 minutes and some change to play. It's with Holloman on the left wing. Michigan still in this 2-3 zone. Up top to Holloman. Over to the right wing, Richardson. Richardson drives to the middle. Now elevates around Golden. Couldn't finish on the left side. Rebound Danny Wolf. 5-point deficit for Michigan as Wolf brings it up left side. Wolf to a cutting Roddy Gale Jr. He slipped home, hangs in the air, can't finish. Golden the rebound, he throws it back up, and the foul! Vlad Golden on the floor. He's helped up by his teammates. A humongous and one. And boy, oh boy, we've got ourselves a ball game with 5:38 to play, 62-59 Michigan State.
And all of a sudden, what State was doing so well in the first half, crashing the glass, rebounding defensively, getting turnovers, it's completely changed the tide in terms of Michigan's favor. It's honestly unbelievable how Michigan follows the same script every game. They give away a lead, they come back a little bit, they chip away. It's going to be a great one down the stretch.
Vlad Golden bends the knees. Free throw is up, off the back iron, no good. And here come the Spartans, 3-point lead in their pockets. It was 11 not too long ago. 8-0 run for Michigan over the last 2 minutes. Holloman down to Cooper in the right short corner. Nearly got his pocket picked, gets it back to Holloman on the left wing. Up top, there's Akins. Skip it over Richardson on the left side. Now back to Akins, over to Richardson. Now to Fiddler, who's entered. Now to Cooper in the short corner, inside to a cutting Richardson. About a 10-foot shot with his left hand. Bit of a push in front of the free throw line. He got it. 64-59 Michigan State. 5:04 to play. Wolf up top, now to Golden. Dribble handoff action. No, Golden kept it, drives left onto the block, puts it up left hand. Got fouled by Cooper. Ball rolled off the rim a little bit too strong, but Vlad Golden goes right back to the line.
Yeah, when he kept that ball, I got a little bit nervous. You don't really see that out of Vlad Golden kind of driving in by himself. But very, very nice play by Golden to just continue getting to the line, just pounding these Michigan State bigs down low. But great job by Michigan State there to get a basket. That possession wasn't really going anywhere for a little bit. Michigan was playing great all-ball defense, eventually able to get inside.
Golden misses another free throw. He's a 74% shooter on the season. After that miss, he's now 6 for 10 today. Trey Donaldson in for Roddy Gale Jr. For Michigan, it's Donaldson, Damari Burnett, Reuben Jones, Wolf, and Golden. For the Spartans, it's Fiddler, Richardson. I believe that's Carson Cooper, Jaden Akins, and Trey Holloman. Golden's second free throw is good, and he'll actually check out for Will Cheddar, who sprinted to the scorer's table.
Yeah, and the Wolverines only 11 for 18 from the line. That's not elite numbers by any stretch, and certainly in a game like this, that certainly matters when you're going to be shooting free throws down the stretch, just based on the fact that the Spartans have 9 fouls already.
1-2-2 press once more for Michigan. Richardson gets it across the left side, gets it to Fiddler on the left wing, back to Holloman. Now Richardson on the right wing. Cooper sets him a screen, bounce pass to Holloman on the left wing. He drives, thought about it at the elbow, dumps it down. Fiddler, he's under the basket, throws it out to Richardson. 8 on the shot clock for Jace Richardson. He rejects the screen, drives right, floater, banks it home. Tough shot for Richardson. And he gets 2 for Michigan State. 66-60 Sparty, 4:23 to play. Donaldson picks up his dribble, now over to Wolf on the left wing. Jabs right, goes left on Fiddler, has him on his hip. Now backs down, gets a double inside to Cheddar. He'll turn around and fire and knock it down just in front of the free throw line. 4-point game, 66-62 Michigan State. 4 minutes to play. Cooper left alone underneath. Nobody picked him up. Holloman found him. He stuffed it home. 68-62 Michigan State. Under 4 now.
You just can't leave the big wide open down low.
Wolf on the left wing. He got it from Donaldson. Now sends it to Cheddar up top. Over to Donaldson right wing. Now into Jones, who sends it to Cheddar on the short corner. Cheddar will dribble it back out, give it to Donaldson high to the right side of the logo. Over to Reuben Jones, open left wing 3. Way too strong off the glass, no good. 68-62, 3:31 to play as Holloman holds up the horns at the logo. Here come the two screeners, uses Cooper to his right. Now crosses back over right wing, over to Fiddler, right back to Holloman. He's been the man in the second half. Steps back, doesn't fire, gives it to Akins. He drives past Wolf, and a foul on the floor called on Wolf. Akins and Burnett collided underneath. Both took a hard fall. Burnett, for now, still on the floor. There's the under 4 media timeout. 68 Michigan State, 62 Michigan. 3:16 to play here in the Crisler Center.
Yeah, the Spartans came right back with the run there on good defense again on that end. Just Reuben Jones, one missed three on that end. Will Cheddar eventually got the nice little make by the free throw line. But otherwise, Michigan State now getting more comfortable playing against Michigan's zone, and it obviously helps when Michigan just has a little bit of a defensive lapse and leaves a guy like Carson Cooper wide open for a free dunk. Just something that really just can't happen at this stage of the basketball game.
You don't see that a ton from this Michigan team. A mistake like that in such a crucial moment. But boy, this is the kind of game that's got nearly a postseason feel to it. Obviously, implications, largely big regular season title, partially at stake, but nothing beyond that at the moment. But 68-62 Michigan State. They answered a Michigan 8-0 run with a run of their own. Now we got a 6-point game, 3:16 to play.
And one of the things that, I've been wondering for Michigan all season long is, can they beat a team that is better than them? I thought Purdue was better than them. They beat them at home. I think Michigan State was better than them coming into this game. How do you play a team that's so well coached, Tom Izzo's team, that really doesn't make many mistakes, that just plays really, really solid basketball? And so far, Michigan's tried to outshoot them, hasn't worked. They've missed at the free throw line, just a couple self-inflicted miscues from Michigan. Really, Michigan State, I don't feel, has absolutely run Michigan off the court. I feel like it's been pretty even. But it's one possession here, it's one possession there that leads to a 6-point deficit.
Michigan has shot 18 free throws. They've only made 11, 61%. Meanwhile, the next foul on the Spartans will put Michigan in the double bonus. 3:16 to play, not a ton of time, but you'd think the Wolverines might try to go to the basket here, try to draw that 10th foul.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at guys like Golden. Look at guys like Wolf inside. I expect some 4-5 pick and rolls. We got one with about 5:30 left that led to a Vlad Golden one-hand slam. And that will put pressure on the defense. And then if help defense comes, that allows you to kind of kick it out for a three. Hopefully guys like Burnett, hopefully guys like Donaldson. So I expect the Wolverines to come out of this timeout doing something like that.
68-62 in favor of the Michigan State Spartans here in Ann Arbor. 3:16 to play, and boy, this should be a fun 3:16.
Should be an interesting 3:16 for sure.
That it should. I mean, to an extent, it's going to tell you something about both these teams, how you handle, a fellow top 15 team in a big-time matchup in the late moments, who can pull something together, put a few stops together, and find a way to leave this place with a win.
It's been kind of interesting all season long. Just if you look at the Big Ten as a whole, right? Michigan State, everybody thought was the Big Ten's best team. Then they lost to USC. Purdue took that mantle for a little bit, and now Wisconsin out of nowhere is now being projected as a 2 seed. Michigan, while leading conference play, really has never claimed the best team in the Big Ten. So we're going to see if they can get this win here and kind of change the narrative around this Wolverines team.
Jeremy Fears Jr. will be the inbounder on the baseline for the Spartans. He's in the short corner on the right side. He's got Holloman, Cooper, Kohler, and Akins. Gets it into Cooper, who hands it back to Fears. He'll set up at the top of the key, now hands it off to Holloman, right wing. Trey Donaldson sticks with him. Now over to Jaden Akins, to the left of the logo. Uses a screen from Cooper, has Golden on him, drives left. Around a help from Wolf, couldn't finish too strong off the glass. Rebound Vlad Golden. Here comes Trey Donaldson for Michigan. Donaldson over to Wolf, just to the top of the key, now gives to Golden. Handoff back to Wolf up top. Has a small on him in Fears. Now gives it to Roddy Gale Jr. left wing. Fears stays on Gale Jr. He'll drive it in, and he traveled. Slipped a little bit as he tried to pick up the basketball. Put up what was about an 8-foot floater that went in, but traveled in advance of it. 68-62 Michigan State. Sparty basketball, 2:44 to play.
Yeah, and Gale in the game. No Namari Burnett after that hard fall. So that's just, again, like a self-induced miscue there. Like another one that's just an offensive turnover that you don't really need.
Michigan State breaks a 1-2-2 press from Michigan. Jace Richardson has it on the right wing. Now sends it over to Holloman, inside to Kohler on the block. Back out to Fears on the left wing. Now he'll bounce it down into the post to Kohler. He sees two bodies, out to Fears. He's left alone, up top, open three-pointer. He banked it in. The release looked odd. It came out way off, but banked home, and sometimes you need one to go your way. There one goes for Michigan State, 71-62 Spartans. 2:09 to play. Wolf takes a three. He misses it short. It just grazes the rim. Rebound Richardson. Dusty May is squatting just in front of half court, his hand on his chin as he seeks an answer. His team trails by 9 with under 2 to play. The hands of the clock favor the Spartans with Holloman on the right wing. Used a screen from Cooper. Now gives it over to Fears. One more to Akins in the corner in front of his own bench. Excuse me, that's Richardson who drives home. And a foul called on the floor. They'll put it on Wolf. That's only his second. Luckily for Michigan, the basket didn't count with the foul on the floor. Spartans by 9 all of a sudden with 1:40 to play. 71-62 Michigan State ball.
Yeah, Wolverines just have gone scoreless down the stretch. Really can't make anything. Haven't scored in 2.5 minutes, so you find something on offense.
Big possession here. It's with Jeremy Fears Jr. at the top of the key. Has a screen on both sides. Uses Cooper's to his left. In and out dribble now to Kohler up top. One more Richardson right side. 5 on the shot clock for Richardson. Has Wolf on him. Shake and bake. Drive to the elbow. Forces something up. Nearly banked it home off the high glass. And Carson Cooper rips down the rebound. Fresh 20 seconds for Michigan State. And that's killer.
Yeah, massive offensive rebound there from Cooper.
It's with Fears up top. 5 on the clock for Michigan State. Fears still with the basketball. Keeps his dribble. Drives on Wolf, step back three at the top of the key, no good. And that one tipped out by Cooper again. It stays with the Spartans. Carson Cooper might have just put this game away on the glass. And Danny Wolf will have to foul.
And all of a sudden, we talked about when Michigan made their mini run, they didn't really ever come back, but they were able to make a run using offensive boards, something that Michigan State did earlier in the game. And now all of a sudden, just like that, it just flips that quickly, and it wastes another minute and 10 seconds off the clock for the Wolverines.
They're starting to file out of the Crisler Center here in Ann Arbor. With those in green and white, they're not heading to the exit at as quick of a rate as those in maize and blue. Jeremy Fears Jr. will shoot here. That was foul number 7 on Michigan. 1-1 here for Fears, who has not shot at the stripe today. He's a 75% shooter on the season. First free throw is off the back iron, tipped around off of Golden. Akins squeezes it, and he is fouled. The Spartans go right back to the line. Golden just couldn't squeeze the rebound with his right hand.
And there's 2 7-footers there. Trey Donaldson's there as well. That's just a rebound that you have to have off the first missed free throw. I mean, in this game, you know, down 9 with 48 seconds left is an impossible task. But if you still want a chance in it, you have to be, like, that's 3 straight offensive rebounds.
Yeah. Somewhat of an odd finish to this ball game. Akins spins the ball in his hand. Free throw is good. Gives the Spartans a 10-point lead, 4 possessions, 72-62 Michigan State, 48.2 to play. The Spartans got that banked-in 3 from Fears Jr., then 3 consecutive offensive rebounds to essentially ice this game. Second free throw for Akins is good. He's an 84% shooter. He got them both. Spartans by 11, 48.2 to play here in the second half. 7-0 run for Michigan State over the last 3:15. Michigan without a point in that span.
Yeah, and you can look at it 2 ways. In all likelihood, Michigan State wins this game. A, it's Michigan's first loss at home, right? There's still plenty of chances to make it up. They go back to East Lansing. They play State again. But if you're Michigan State, you know, you had that little weird stretch where you lost to USC, lost to UCLA, and then won at Oregon, or won versus Oregon, and then lost to IU. So weird 3 losses in 4 games. Coming out of that, now you've beaten Illinois, you've beaten Purdue, you've beaten Michigan on the road. You've kind of found your stride here in this one. And this is a game that, if you're looking at it from the Wolverines' perspective, and Dusty May, you're saying this is a game that we could have won. It's 11 points right now. It never felt like 11 points at any stretch during this game. It's just one team making winning plays, and Michigan just a team that's still trying to learn how to win.
And I do think you're right. Obviously, this is a game that Michigan would have loved to win and very well could have won. But this game doesn't do you in with where you stand in the season. This is not a bad loss to a, very highly ranked Michigan State team. And Michigan will have some chances to pick up some big wins, but it's never an easy game in the Big Ten. The Wolverines, after this one, go out to Nebraska. Always tough to play at Pinnacle Bank Arena on Monday. Then they play Rutgers at home on Thursday for having Illinois at home and Maryland at home.
Yeah, and that Nebraska game, looking at it as a trap game, right, after a rivalry game, especially if Michigan had won today, that's definitely a spot for a letdown. Now you feel a little bit better, at least, which is kind of weird coming off a loss just because of the pure, emotion that they should come out with.
Back in with Donaldson. He brings it up for Michigan. He's on the right wing, dances, try to put up a step-back three. The basketball just slipped out. He keeps it with him. Namari Burnett nearly turned it over, and he did. He tried to throw it to Reuben Jones. Outruns Aikens, and he elevates and pushes it down with his left hand. And if the dagger hadn't been already thrown, there it was. Wolves step-back three, in and out. Rebound Cooper, and Dusty May calls off the Dogs. 20 seconds to tick off. And Michigan State's going to knock off Michigan here in the Crisler Center, 75-62.
Yeah, just a massive win for the Spartans coming in here, taking Michigan's early punch, 15-0 run that the Wolverines had in the second half. Then Michigan, on the other hand, took that punch from State coming back early in the second half, but once Michigan State came back with the body blow, Michigan just could never get off the mat.
A very impressive win across state for Tom Izzo's Michigan State Spartans. They finished this game on a 9-0 run to close out the Wolverines 75-62. Run you around the box score real quick. Jace Richardson led the way for the Spartans. He had 21 on 7 for 12. Trey Holloman hit 3 straight threes in the second half. He finished with 18. Jaden Aikens 11. Jeremy Fears Jr. with 10. Those were the 4 double-figure scores for the Spartans. 6 for Cooper, 4 for Carr, 3 for Xavier Booker, 2 for Jackson Kohler. Zapawa and Fiddler without points. On the other side for Michigan, Vlad Golden led the way with 21. He left some on there at the free throw line, 7 for 11 at the stripe. Burnett with 12, Wolf with 11, 5 apiece for Cheddar and Gale Jr., 3 for Trey Donaldson, 2 for Jones and Pippen, 1 for LJ Kaysen.
I think it comes down to, simply just one team did more to win. Michigan, yes, they had their turnovers. They couldn't rebound the basketball at the end of that game. But Michigan State, you got to give them your credit. Coming into a hostile environment, probably the loudest we've heard Crisler Center in a while, and still stay able to just come in here and make winning plays, something that you would expect coming out of a coach like Tom Izzo.
Another big number in the box score, rebound battle, 34-25 in favor of the Michigan State Spartans. Carson Cooper essentially put this game away for Michigan State on the glass toward the end of it. Might have been already over, but any hopes that Michigan had died with those rebounds by Cooper on the offensive end.
Yeah, certainly. Just something that you just really can't happen is those offensive boards. And it's weird because you would expect Michigan to be able to rebound better with guys like Danny Wolf, like guys like Vlad Golden. Roddy Gale Jr. also a really physical player. But it's these guys that, go in for blocks. And if it's Vlad or Danny Wolf on help defense, right, that takes away somebody to box out a big. And that kind of leads to these offensive boards.
Wolverines turned it over 14 times to the 11 of Michigan State. In the second half, that figure was 8 turnovers for Michigan to just 2 for the Michigan State Spartans. And just a really impressive second half for the Spartans. They trailed by 4 at halftime, won the second half 41-24 to take this one, 75-62 over Michigan.
Yeah, especially a team that's just as high scoring as the Wolverines are, only allowing 24 points. It's just a testament to defense, a testament to even being on the offensive side, not allowing turnovers and not allowing teams to run in the fast break. So very, very good job by the Spartans.
Michigan State wins by 13, 75-62. Perry, any final thoughts to wrap this one up?
I think, and we've mentioned it a little bit down the stretch, but this game, in the grand scheme of things, yes, it matters for the Big 12 regular season, but there's still plenty of chances for the Wolverines, plenty of chances for the Spartans as well to kind of increase their lead. By no stretch is this a big game in terms of March Madness. Both of these teams going to have plenty more chances to pad their resumes.
No doubt about it. Well, that'll about do it for WCBN Sports' coverage here in the Crisler Center. Michigan State wins 75-62 on the road in the Crisler Center. Kendall Spencer, Jaden Fode had the first half for WCBN. Perry Mourtzinos, pleasure to be alongside me in the second. And I'm Alex Miller. And for all of us here, we'll leave you as we always do with a good night and a go blue. So long, folks.